Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Reckless Paradise podcast. I am your co-host, Dystro, and I am here with my host, Marissa. Say hi.
Sup?
Sup?
I have a bit of a migraine tonight, ladies and gents, so I apologize if I'm not up to par. No, I'm not sick again. I had a long day. I was in the car for like a good chunk of the day. Road trip. Went to the ice castle located down in Saranac Lake, New York. It's an annual event where they have an ice castle literally made completely out of ice. So I went down there today. So it was about an hour trip there, hour trip back, give or take. Um, so I am very tired at the time of recording this. So I do apologize if I don't seem up to par. But nonetheless, I hope everybody had an awesome weekend. How was your weekend?
It was alright. Worked my ass off, but it's alright. Gotta make that money.
Yeah, I'd say so. Ticker's here. Hello. My
the
goddamn cat.
the rare appearance of a Tigger.
Of course. Anyways, thank you all for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoy the episode. So, we're finally running back um, a certain edition of Random Ranking that we haven't done in nearly a year, and I'm talking Billy Talent. We haven't talked about Billy Talent in quite a bit, I'll be honest. Our last episode we did Billy Talent related anything was the breakdown of Afraid of Heights, which was our final Billy Talent album we had to break down. Um, so when it comes to random ranking, it's been almost a year since we did Billy Talent. Crazily enough.
Yeah. I wish we could have gotten to it sooner, but we had other plans and episodes come up, so we didn't get to it right away.
But it's back in 2024, and I am very happy to say that. So there are 10 songs up for grabs tonight. Um, it's actually a very solid list. I'm not gonna lie, this list is pretty solid. So, starting with the way they came in on the list on randomizer.org, starting at number one, we have Show Me the Way from Dead Silence. Number two, Covered in Cowardice from Billy Talent 2. Number three, Line and Sinker from debut album. Number four, Worker Bees, another Billy Talent 2 classic. Number five, Voices of Violence, yet another classic from the debut album. Number six, Saint Veronica from Billy Talent 3. Number seven, Diamond on a Landmine, also from Billy Talent 3. Number eight, Turn Your Back, another Billy Talent 3 track. Number nine, Love Was Still Around from Dead Silence. And number 10, our only Afraid of Heights track on this list, Afraid of Heights, the Reprise edition, which is the closing track of the Afraid of Heights album. So, this is going to be an interesting way to tango because this is a pretty mixed bag for the most part. The only album that didn't get any songs on this list was Crisis of Faith.
Which is kind of shocking.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. We got quite a bit of everything except for Crisis of Faith, and Afraid of Heights only has one track on here, so it's kind of a toss up of the first four albums, which that's a pretty good bag to be honest to deal with.
Yeah. Uh, it's like I'm not gonna lie. Uh, this was kind of hard for me to do random ranking a little bit
Me too. I had to think a little
because
bit.
every song on this list is really good. I mean, well, every album is really good in their own way, but I think once we get to our top three, I'll explain why some of mine are in positions in certain positions and stuff. But yeah, this was it was kind of hard for me to put some songs in certain places, and I didn't want to do that. So
It kind of hurt me. I had to go back and re-listen to a couple of them just for good measure.
right.
So we shall see how this goes. So, starting at number 10, who's going first?
Um, I'll let you go first.
Okay. So, starting at number 10, I chose Voices of Violence from Billy Talent 1.
Okay. I put Love Was Still Around.
Ooh, interesting.
I'm just waiting for the boxing gloves to come out, people. I'm waiting for some reason.
Interesting. That one's ranked a slightly bit higher, but that's okay. For me, with Voices of Violence, it came down to replay value. This is probably my least played track from Billy Talent 1. Uh, I don't really know why. I don't really have the explanation as to why. That whole album's good from top to bottom. It's just this song I don't get played a lot when it comes to listening to music. I don't play the song very often.
Right. I understand that. It's kind of almost the exact same way for me with Love Was Still Around. Um, replay value, but then also I just don't hear it a lot. Whereas like, our radio stations like, they cover like, like Bob Seger and Steve Miller Band and all stuff. It's like, well, yours is like, they have like Canadian rock groups and all that stuff too. Uh, but I guess mine is replay value, and I just don't hear it a lot. That's just mine.
Yeah,
That's just
that's
mine.
fair. That's fair. So, moving on to number 9, what did you put?
I put Turn Your Back.
Ooh. Ooh.
Ugh.
That's odd for me to say, honestly, because I did not like Billy Talent 3 first listen through, which I love that album now. I put Covered in Cowardice here.
Covered in Cowardice on my list is a little bit higher,
Okay.
but
For me, it's kind of the same situation as number 10 with Voices of Violence. Um, I love Covered in Cowardice. That song is good. It's really like heavy on the riff. Um, but I haven't heard it in a while. I'm going to be honest. I haven't heard it in a while. Um, I do remember it's not one of my most played songs either. So it kind of took bottom of the barrel. But none of these songs are bad. I'm going to tell you that none of these songs on this list are bad at all. They're all very, very good songs. It's
mm,
just some of them I don't listen to like
that
as much as
much,
others.
right? Whereas, like, like me, like I said, at on every random ranking episode that we've done on this podcast, I have a huge playlist on Spotify. Even though, yes, I have put a separate playlist for Billy Talent, I just don't get to Billy Talent a lot. It's funny that we are doing Billy Talent tonight because I heard February Winds on my way home.
Ah,
I heard it on the
interesting.
way home today, and I was like, "Damn, I wish we could have had that on the list. That would have
Me
been
too.
so fucking awesome.
Honestly, me too.
That would
It's
have
a really
been
good song.
that would have been so coincidental."
Um, so is it kind of the same situation with you for Turn Your Back? Like you don't hear it enough?
Yeah, it's like first when I listened to Billy Talent 3 the first time, I didn't really mind Turning Your Back, to be honest with you. I thought it was like take it or leave it sort of track for me.
Okay.
Um, that's just my opinion though.
You're lucky I have a migraine right now.
I thought you were about to say I have a half a mind to beat you.
Oh, you're lucky I have a migraine right now. I can't take out my boxing gloves. Oh, I'll get to that song when we get to it.
Right, right.
Ugh. Number 8. I put the reprise version of Afraid of Heights here.
I did too.
Okay, good. Now, Afraid of Heights for me, the whole album is good, but it's not their best album. Yeah, obviously, it's kind of bottom of the barrel for me, as it is for a lot of Billy Talent fans. Actually, a lot of people didn't really like Afraid of Heights as much. Whereas I love all the albums. It's just like it's not their best album. Uh, I love the reprise version of Afraid of Heights. I really like what they did with that. It's kind of like a full circle moment if you were to go back and listen to that album in full, because like the original version of Afraid of Heights is like the second track, I believe, while the
Right.
reprise version is the closer. So it's kind of like a full circle moment when you go back and listen to that album in full. And I've always liked the reprise version. I always thought it was more dramatic and more enhanced. So,
Right, yeah.
but unfortunately, it doesn't beat any of these other songs on this list that are above it. So,
No. Um, I mean, sad to say that, Afraid of Heights, the reprise is kind of number 8 a little bit, but I just didn't really like. I rather enjoy the original version than the reprise version, to be honest with you.
that's
That
fair.
that's just me. Uh, but yeah, on to number 7.
Number 7, what did you put?
I put Line and Sinker here.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah, our lists are not clicking tonight.
No, I mean, and we always say this too. It's like we don't see each other's lists beforehand. We go completely blind into this stuff.
Yeah,
It's like we rarely, very, very
agree.
rarely, very rarely, like like have certain tracks or albums in the same spot.
Yeah, my number 7 is Worker Bees.
Okay, so I'll get to it when we get to number 6. Uh,
What do you have to say about Line and Sinker?
okay, so remind me, which album is that from? Debut?
Line and Sinker's debut album, man.
Okay. So when we first heard Debut, um some of the songs I really cared about, like River Below and all that stuff. Um but this one is like it's like kind of like same thing with, Turn It Back. It was like take it or leave it sort of thing. Um I didn't like I'm not gonna say I didn't like the song because every song on that album was really good. It's like I gotta be in the mood for it, sort of the ordeal.
Oh, you can never, ever not be in the mood for what you say is what you. This
It
fucking
it
doesn't it jump scare you though?
it always does, yeah, for both of us.
It's like shut
What
the
you
fuck up, Ben.
say? Shut the fuck up, man! It's just slaps. Ow!
God. Now, with Me for Worker Bees, man, that track is underrated as hell from Billy Talent too. I always thought of it as more of like a more humorous track. It just reminds me of a group of bees. That's all it
Bug,
reminds me of.
bitch.
A group of bees. Like, can you imagine the music video if they ever made one where it's just Billy Talent dressed up as a bunch of bees?
I can picture it now. Yeah.
Dear
Oh,
God. I don't know why I mentioned that, but but yeah, that song's really good. It's just again, I don't hear it a lot anymore. But doesn't excuse the fact that it's really good. I told you this list is really hard to rank.
yeah.
Number 6.
Um, I put I put worker bees here.
Okay, I put Love Was Still Around from Dead Silence.
Okay. When I was writing down worker bees, I put worked bees.
Now, I'm going to say this right now. This song, Love Was Still Around, it is one of Ben's best vocal performances of all time. That vocal range on that song is top notch.
Yeah, I can say that.
My lord, I love that song. Like literally the whole Dead Silence album, like it screams strong, strong vocal ability from Ben. I absolutely love what they did with that album. It's hands down, it's like in my top 10 albums of all time. It's that good. It's so good. It's rare when I put an album in my top 10 of all time. Like when it's in my all time top 10 list, like it's really good. Um, I need actually to go back and listen to that album again. It's been a little bit. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, I had to put that song there. Like that song is top tier vocal performance.
it's like another good example is like was it Viking Death March?
Might have been actually.
I think it was like Viking Death March and Surprise Surprise. Like that's like those two.
Oh,
Like I think they can showcase his vocal ability too.
Even what's the other one? Running Across the Tracks. Even that one too.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Literally anything from Dead Silence is like top tier vocal
Dead
performance.
silence.
Oh man.
um,
Worker bees, what you got?
for worker beats, like you said, it's very underrated. Um, I'm not gonna lie, like when I had heard worker bees, I was like, okay, and plus I was like, man, like, could you imagine if like all these songs like had a music video for them?
God, I wish they did, my dude. I wish they did.
But they don't, that sucks. But
I don't even think Crisis of Faith has any music videos at all.
yeah, I was gonna say not yet either at this point. No.
That breaks my heart.
Um, but hey, I'm happy that we got some from Billy Talent, like River Below, Surprise Surprise,
Try
Show Me the Way,
Honesty.
Try Honesty. Uh, but I mean, yeah, like Worker Bees is like, yeah, it's very underrated. I would say I would say debut and number two are very underrated as albums.
I,
In my opinion.
I feel like for me, the newest album's like the most underrated. Like everybody kind of shuns it. I don't know why. Like it's really good. I really like Crisis of Faith. Has a special
Yeah.
spot in my heart. Always will.
Right.
Number five. Moving on to the top five. My number five, I put Saint Veronica from Billy Talent 3.
Okay. Okay. Good choice. Good choice. I put Covered in Cowardice here.
Wow, you actually put it pretty high. I'm surprised.
See, I told you. Don't
So let's see.
doubt.
What do you have to say?
Okay, so remind me Covered in Cowardice is from?
Billy Talent 2.
Okay. Like I said, Billy Town 2 is like it's not
It's
it's not
good.
overrated, but it's not underrated. Um it has like so many good hits on that album too. Um but Covered in Cowardice, I don't know, it's just like something about like the sound at the time because it was like '06 when it came out, right?
Yeah, it came out in '06.
So like I guess the sound at that time it was kind of like how should I put it? It's like it's not getting modern, but it's like
It's different.
yeah, it was very different. And plus, like around this time, you have like like Simple Plan,
Fall Out Boy.
Fall Out Boy, and all this stuff. So it's like that their sound at that time it was so different from anybody else's.
I don't know.
Um,
I honestly might have to disagree because this is just based off of my dad. My dad gets Green Day mixed up with Billy Talent.
and Green Day's a three piece.
Yeah, while Billy Talent's a four piece. My dad gets their music mixed up, which is kind of funny, and I can kind of see it to be honest. Like they do kind of have similarities.
And
So I
yeah,
feel like if there was any band to compare Billy Talent to, it has to be Green Day.
I mean fair, yes, fair. Um, but I mean at that time, like Covered in Cowardice is just I don't know. It's like I guess it's just something about it that gives me like nostalgia vibes from
It
it. I guess
screams to you.
yeah. Um, not because of the song title, but I guess the lyrical content from it as well. Um, try to pick and choose like different like lyrics and stuff that could apply to anybody in this scenario.
It's kind of like me with Saint Veronica in this case. Hence why it's at number five. One of the best vocal screams, I guess you could say, from Ben that we've ever gotten is from Saint Veronica.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
It's very hard to replicate that scream he does towards the middle. Um, it's a very like it really encapsulizes the vibe of Billy Talent 3, which is very dark, very dark.
Hmm.
Less production on that album for sure. I could tell just by the sound. It sounds more raw. Kind of gives off like a flick of the switch kind of vibe where it's like really raw. Um, so that's really what I liked about Billy Talent 3, going back into it a couple times. It's one of my favorite albums, to be honest. Um, I like to listen to it on a cool, like, autumn day,
Hmm.
like when it's getting like really dark out early and stuff. Um, it's a really, really good song, though.
Yeah, I would say so.
Number 4. So, my number 4, this is where I put Turn Your Back.
All right. I put Show Me the Way here.
Woo, okay. At least I made your top 5. I'm actually pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I was about to say you should be happy. You should be happy.
So, with Turn Your Back, yet another Billy Talent 3 track making the top 5. That is crazy to think about now. Um, that song, too, is really good. It's a song that I've actually heard quite a bit recently. I actually went back and listened to it when I was doing my rankings. I've always liked Turn Your Back. I like the original over the one with Anti Flag. They did a collab with Anti Flag with that song as well. I prefer the original. That's just me. Um,
Mhm.
I've always liked that song. It's just like it has a good rhythm to it. Um, Nothing really else to say there. It belongs in the top 5 for me, hands down.
Yeah, I would say so with mine as well, like Showing the Way. And plus, like, it has a very, I guess, sentimental value too. Um, because during,
I'll be right
pa-
back.
oh, okay, during like pandemic and all that stuff, like Billy Talent had come out with uh Crisis of Faith and like 2022, beginning of 2022, and if you know Marissa and all that stuff, uh, Billy Talent is like one of the main bands that has got her through tough times. And I think Show Me the Way is like a very sentimental value to her. Because it's like, it's very like, upbeat and, very heartfelt and all that stuff. Also, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It's always free. You can unsubscribe at any point in the future, but please don't. Also, please like and subscribe.
I'm back. My dad needed me real quick.
All right.
Sorry
Uh,
about that.
I was just telling the viewers what mine was all about and all that stuff, and
Yeah,
so
I'll get to show me the way in a little bit.
yeah, I gotcha.
Number 3. Oh boy. What
Number three,
did you pick?
I put Saint Veronica.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yes.
I put Diamond on a Landmine here
Hmm.
because if you think about it logically, there's only 3 Billy Talent 3 tracks here. And if you remember correctly, Diamond on a Landmine is my favorite track from said album. So I had to put it at number 3.
Right.
It is by far one of my favorite songs of all time. I love the music video too. It's kind of weird, but man, that song's good. It has a good rhythm to it. Just overall, it's a good song.
Yeah. That overall vibe from that song too. Uh, it just screams. It just screams. Uh, like mid 2000s on that.
It does. It screams Billy Talent 3. It just screams that whole album.
Right.
So, what do you have to say about Saint Veronica?
I think it's just it's the lyrical content and
Oh, and the scream.
the scream. It's what like that's why like and plus I kind of not relate to the song, but it had me in like a out of body experience sort of a little bit. um I mean any band can do that. That's a good band for you. Um but it's like I like I said, it's just probably the lyrical content and then the scream that Ben does. It's like not a lot of people can scream like Ben can scream.
Yeah.
And if they do, it's gonna rip their freaking vocal cords to shreds.
For fucking sure, man. Like, oh my lord.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so I mean, like just those 2 points, that's what made it into the top three for me.
Hell yeah. Alright, moving forward to number 2. This is where I put Show Me the Way from Dead Silence.
All right. I put Diamond on a Landmine at number two.
And I'm happy about that, to be honest. That's good. We're pretty much on the same page for that song as well.
Yeah. It's kind of self-explanatory a little bit. You know?
Yeah. With Show Me the Way, that's actually one of my favorite Billy Talent songs of all time. It's like in my top 5 Billy Talent songs of all time. Forever Will Be. I found that song during a tough time in my life. And that music video is really good too. It's very colorful, I remember.
Mhm.
Um, it's very, very colorful. And I'm actually very happy there's a music video for that track. That track I find is so underrated. Nobody really talks about it. And it's so good. It's really good. It's like it just has an upbeat vibe to it, and it always gave me a lot of hope when I was in a bad place. I need
Mhm.
to go back and listen to it. It's been a little bit.
Yeah. When I was talking about Show Me the Way for number four for mine, I was literally telling them while you were away. You had found this, and when you're down at that point in your life, and also been brought you hope, and this band had brought you hope and stuff like that too.
Hell yeah, and that's why
So
they'll never be forgotten. Even if I drift apart from them like I have lately, I will always go back to my roots. Always. And that's what we're doing.
okay,
So, what do you have to say about your number 2?
I mean,
Gamma.
come on.
It's so good.
It's really good. It's like it, it's. I mean, what is there not to say about it? Uh, it's very well. It's kind of like almost in your face a little bit. Not gonna lie.
Gamma on landmine.
um, and plus like Ian, John, and my MS brother for life. On drums at the time. Wait,
Yes.
I was gonna say yeah, he was on the drums at the time.
Yes.
Forgot. And then also Ben. It's like those four, like they created a masterpiece. um, I think it was like what did I say that like John's like bass was like it was like very powerful, or was it Ian's
It
guitar that
might
was
have
very
been might have
powerful?
been Jonathan's bass in
I
that
think yeah.
that whole album.
Yeah, Jonathan's bass was like it was either like very good tuning or that sound production was like
Especially in
kick
Saint
ass.
Veronica. Like when the opening is Saint Veronica, it's like like that's all you can hear.
Yeah, um, very underrated bass player too.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
but I said my piece on Diamond on the Landmine. Like it's very good song. I highly recommend it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That leaves number 1. And I feel like you might be surprised by this one just a little bit. My number 1 is Line and Sinker from the debut album.
Okay. Mine was Voices of Violence.
Wow. Wow. My number 10 is your number 1.
Yeah, and my number seven was your number one.
Wow. Hey, both Billy Talent 1 songs, so I'll give you credit there.
Yep.
So, Line and Sinker, I mean, come on. Like, that is one of my favorite songs ever. Even though, like, if I hit shuffle on my main playlist and this comes up out of nowhere, it jump scares the shit out of me. Watch your sayings, watch your
It's like, man, it's like, I guess it's like, I, I, I don't think Ben intended to do that, but it's like how they just did it was like so
It's
funny.
so goofy. I love it. And it's just that song is like an in your face song. It's like today
Oh
I
well,
don't
yeah.
feel pretty. Like I love his fucking voice in that song. Like
Feel pretty.
that whole album, Billy Talent 1, that whole album, like that is baby. I call it Baby Ben because like he had them fucking raw. squeaky vocals, like those like really screamy, squeaky vocals. Like I really loved that whole vibe of that album.
Yeah,
It's just so good. I'm really happy we actually kind of agreed and picked a Billy Talent one song for number one. So let's hear what you have to say about Voices of Violence so we can wrap this up.
it's very fast paced. It's like
That's
voice of
Voices of
violence.
Violence.
Um, and plus, like you said, it's Baby Ben,
Baby Ben.
Baby Ben, and it's like like this is like when he was just starting out, like in Billy Town too. I know he did Pez
Pez, yeah, with Watoosh and all that.
and stuff like that, but it's like he didn't get to break through that ceiling yet at that point. Because he just didn't know what the world was ready for at that point.
Oh yeah.
Um, I'm kind of glad that they just went like, what, fuck it, Pez is done. Let's go to Billy Talent, and then
The rest is history.
and then the rest is history. Yeah, yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
so that wraps up episode 3 of Random Ranking Billy Talent Edition. We hope you enjoyed. Where would you guys rank these songs? Let us know on social media or in the comments. So I actually have to patch an error I made in an episode we just pre-recorded. So just recently we pre-recorded our February 11th episode, Shoot the Shit, episode 16. I actually made an error on an episode on the following episode we're supposed to be doing. Um, so Dystro, if you remember on the calendar for this Thursday, uh, the 8th, we were
Yes.
supposed to do the Fall Out Boy debate hour. I originally had said it on Shoot the Shit. We were supposed to do it the following Thursday on the 15th.
15.
So we're going to keep that episode for the 15th. And in place of it, I'm going to swap out the episode that was originally scheduled for the 15th. And that, my friends, is the breakdown of Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here album. So this album is only 5 tracks long, but we are going to go in depth with this album just a little bit because this is one of Pink Floyd's best selling albums of all time. And it just so happens to be my favorite Pink Floyd album of all time. I have the sweatsuit of Wish You Were Here. It's a matching
Hmm.
sweatsuit I bought at Walmart last spring. So I was like, it's been almost a whole year since we've listened to Wish You Were Here. And I remember that album clear as day because I hear the tracks from that album every week on the radio. Um, if you have to go back and listen to it, by all means, go ahead, Daishro. But that is what we are going to be doing this Thursday. We are going to do the breakdown of Wish You Were Here. Um, I am very excited, to be honest. We have not done, I don't think we've done a Pink Floyd album on the show.
Um.
We were supposed to do Dark Side of the Moon last summer, but we never did it.
Yeah, because a lot of stuff had changed. Uh, or we just didn't really just forgot it.
Yeah.
We just literally probably just forgot it. And we are like, eh.
So this will be our first ever Pink Floyd album breakdown. And I think it's going to be interesting because there's only 5 songs. So it can't be that hard.
Well, I mean, and plus, I'll probably be doing notes on this
Yeah.
too, so hopefully I can find something.
Oh, I'm sure. Fucking
Oh
Pink.
yeah, I'm
There
probably.
are so many fucking Pink Floyd fanatics out there.
Oh
And you
yeah,
know
probably.
what's funny? We have another breakdown episode coming up later in the month, but I'm not going to spoil it for you guys yet. You guys will have to wait.
Right.
So, this
Uh,
Thursday, breakdown of Wish You Were Here. You will not want to miss it, especially if you are a Pink Floyd fan. Um, also, tonight's song of the night. Oh, yeah, we're going to do a Billy Talent song. I think we're going to go with February Winds because it is February and there's only 2 songs in my archive that start with February. One's by Billy Talent, the other one's by Foo Fighters. And we're going to go with the Billy Talent one tonight. We're going to go with February Winds. Really good song from Afraid of Heights. Actually, super slept on, too. And I love the guitar riff on it. So that's tonight's song of the night, February Winds by Billy Talent. If you guys want to take a listen, I'll put the link in the top right hand corner at the end of the episode. There's no music video, just the audio. So go ahead and have some fun. Take a listen to it. So, if you guys stuck around to the very end, we greatly appreciate your support. Be sure to go on ahead and follow us on social media by clicking on that link in the description below, which will take you to Linktree. We have TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, and Twitter. Go on ahead and follow us there to keep up to date with the show, as well as the YouTube community page on our channel. That's where we keep a lot of our updates there for you guys as well, in case something goes wrong. One of us can't join the episode. Anything can happen. So it's really important to keep up to date with us everywhere and anytime. Um, Dystro's gaming YouTube channel is there as well. Um, at the time of recording this, what are you at right now? Do you know?
1,140.
Oh wow. Okay, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Our original goal was what, 1,200 by
1,200.
Valentine's Day,
Hmm.
which is like a week away. So I mean, if it don't happen, that's fine. Maybe we can shoot for the end of the month.
Yeah, never
That'd be
know.
a good goal. So if you guys are not familiar already, he posts weekly gaming content on his channel. Sometimes we're in there too. Me and Kens and whoever else we play with. Um, so go subscribe to him. Share his stuff around. We do post a lot of fun stuff there. Once again, take a listen to tonight's song of the night, February Wins by Billy Talent. And that's it. Thank you all for listening, and we'll catch you guys this Thursday. Peace.
Peace.